This is probably the nerdiest thing I've ever done. So hi YouTube fam, it's your host Weston Scrivener, wishing you a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Earlier today I hopped on Twitter and I realized one of my internet friends named George, whose account is Psalmody, said this: imagine studying the doctrinal theology of Thomas Aquinas and then turning it in considerable detail into praise. Litany of the Summa, hashtag prayer. And if you click on the link that he gave, it brings you to this place, which is from the Scriptorium Daily. It's called Praying Hard Theology, Litany of the Summa, written actually pretty recently. And basically what it talks about is there is actually a 16th century Jesuit, Francis Borgia, who did just that, or at least key sections, as was said right here. So, if you look around this website, which looks really cool, you find some examples of what that Jesuit wrote. But anyway, this got me thinking, and I just quickly replied earlier today, this sounds like fun. Now I want to go into the college piano practice rooms and start recording, singing, and playing through Summa content. And so that's what I've got for you today. But before I begin with this nerdy enterprise of mine, I should probably explain a couple things. One, Mr. Thomas Aquinas, if you look on the screen, one of the foremost characters in terms of medieval theology, really enduring influence. They have a lot of nicknames they give him. Sometimes it's Dr. Angelicus, Dr. Communis. He was known for being a voluminous writer, and he even wrote some hymns. Highly recommend you check out that Wikipedia page if you've never seen it, and read some of his stuff if you haven't, which is why you should keep watching this video. Also, the work we're going to be going through is the Summa Theologiae, or Summa Theologica, which means summary of theology, where theology is defined as the study of God. At least that would be the hope. So actually, even though it's a pretty huge work, he never finished it. But it's still really impressive. Throughout, Aquinas quotes lots of different sources, which is amazing. He was quite a listener to his culture. And furthermore, the structure might sound a little bit weird, so let's go over that. There are 3 parts to it. The first part is called the Prima pars, and then there's the second part of that book. And the second part is divided into 2 parts. And then you got the third part, and then you have a supplementary section with 2 appendices. I think that's right. Or it's appendixes. I think it's appendices, though. Anyway. And within each article, there was a specific order. Let's run through that. You'd have a series of objections to whatever would be proposed. Then you'd have a short counter statement. Then you'd have the actual argument that would be made. And then you'd have replies to each of the preceding objections. So, I hope that's a good way to kick off this project. I'm going to be going to this website. You can find the Summa Theologiae in other places, but I'm going to go here. And you'll notice that we've used the term doctor quite a lot. And you're probably thinking, I didn't sign up for any medical YouTube video, even though those things are cool to watch too. The term doctor originally meant teacher, so that's what is meant here. And so I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to click on Prima Pars. And then in Prima Pars, I'm going to click on hashtag sacred doctrine, and then I'm going to go into general, and then we're going to deal with question 1, the nature and extent of sacred doctrine. Specifically, we're going to begin with Article 1, whether, besides philosophy, any further doctrine is required. Let's check it out. Objection 1. It seems that, besides philosophical science, we have no need of any further knowledge. For man should not seek to know what is above reason. For it says in Sirach 3:22, seek not the things that are too high for thee, but whatever is not above reason is fully treated of in philosophical science. Therefore, any other knowledge besides philosophical science is superfluous. That was objection 1. Now we're going on to objection 2. Further, knowledge can be concerned only with being, for nothing can be known, save what is true, and all that is true. But everything that is treated of in philosophical science. Even God himself, so that there is a part of philosophy called theology, or the divine science, as Aristotle has proved. Metaphysics, Book 6. Therefore, besides philosophical science. There is no need of any further knowledge. But on the contrary, it is written in 2 Timothy 3:16 that all Scripture, inspired of God, is profitable to teach, to reprove, to correct, to instruct in justice. Now, Scripture, inspired of God, is no part of philosophical science, which has been built up by human reason. Therefore, it is useful that besides philosophical science, there should be other knowledge inspired of God. But I answer that. It was necessary for man's salvation. There should be a knowledge revealed by God besides philosophical science, built up by human reason. Firstly, indeed, because man is directed to God as to an end that surpasses the grasp of his reason. As Isaiah 64, verse 4 says, "The eye hath not seen, O God, besides thee, what things thou hast prepared for them that wait for thee." But the end must first be known by men who are to direct their thoughts and actions to the end. And it was necessary for the salvation of man that certain truths which exceed human reason should be made known to him by divine revelation, even as regards those truths about God which human reason could have discovered. It was necessary that man should be taught by divine revelation, because the truth about God, such as reason could discover, would only be known by a few, and that after a long time, and with the admixture of many errors. Whereas man's whole salvation, which is in God, depends upon the knowledge of this truth. Therefore, in order that the salvation of men might be brought about more fitly and more surely, it was necessary that they should be taught divine truths by divine revelation. It was therefore necessary that besides philosophical science, built up by human reason, there should be a sacred science learned through revelation. Now, reply to objection 1. Although these things, which are beyond man's knowledge, may not be sought from man through his reason, nevertheless, once they are revealed by God, they must be accepted by faith. Hence the sacred text continues. For many things I'll show to thee above the understanding of man. That was Sirach 3:25. And in this, the sacred science consists. Now, to reply to objection 2. Sure. Sciences are differentiated according to the various means through which knowledge is transfused or obtained. For the astronomer and the physicist both may prove the same conclusion. That the earth, for instance, is round. The astronomer, by means of mathematics, in essence, abstracting from matter. But the physicist, by means of matter itself. Hence, there is no reason why those things which may be learned from philosophical science, so far as they can be known by natural reason, may not also be taught us by another science, so far as they fall within revelation. religion. Hence theology included in sacred doctrine differs in kind from that theology which is part of philosophy. Thank you so much, whoever you are, for tuning in to the very first of my Summa Slow Jams. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, even though it wasn't a strict study of the Summa. I'm trying to be a serious nerd, while also hamming it up as much as possible. And if you liked what you saw, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Lastly, may the force of God be with you ever more deeply, and may the odds be ever more deeply in your favor. Your boy is attempting to become a friendly neighborhood Christian Dudeist Priest. Signing out. Have a wonderful, fantastic, excellent weekend.